welcome to probably my most exciting showcase that I've done in a while, actually. Just a bit of background on just a couple things. I actually started on this group of figures even before the Snyder Cut had a release date. Even before it was announced that it would be coming. I had some of these figures already started. Like Wonder Woman, Batman, Superman, bit of the Flash. I had nothing done of Aquaman. I had nothing done of Cyborg either. The Joker and Darkseid, they didn't even exist. So, yeah. I thought that I'd give that a little bit of background just so that I don't get yelled at for not making the black Superman suit. So, in this showcase, we of course have the members of the Justice League: Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Aquaman, Flash, Cyborg. But then we also have the Joker and Darkseid, who is now the main villain and is just 10 times better. Let's get down and into the showcase, shall we? Starting off with the Cape Crusader himself, Batman. There are actually quite a few things to notice on this figure. First off, this belt and symbol are sculpted up just a little bit, not too much. We don't want it to explode or something. And then, of course, we have this cowl, which is actually custom. I bought it off of eBay and sculpted my own chin strap because it apparently didn't have that. I don't know why it didn't, but whatever. And then, if you look pretty much anywhere on the entire suit, you'll notice my pretty much most time-consuming paint job I've ever done for just one little detail. I went in and I painted all of the stupid little silver dots all over this suit, and it was so obnoxious. Oh my gosh. I painted it on the insides, I painted it on the outsides, I painted it everywhere, and it was so obnoxious. This paint job literally took me 4 hours. And granted, it's very impressive looking, but I don't know if it was worth it. I really don't. And then that's just one of the Batman stubble heads. And then, if we twist him around, you can see that I do have the 3 blades on his arm. But then we also have a nice weathered cape that's frayed at the bottom. Bit of dirt there. And yeah, that's pretty much it for Batman. I mean, he was a minor sculpting job, mostly painting, which honestly I would have preferred just sculpting an entire Batsuit than painting this one. But hey, that's fine. And here is Superman. Oh my gosh, he was a pain. Not as much of a pain as Batman, but still, quite a pain. The major thing that was a pain was making all of the lines around the silver area, and also doing the metallic blue, because I don't know why, I don't know how, but apparently my metallic blue is slowly drying, and I don't know why. So, I'll probably have to buy another one of those, unfortunately. But it was almost unbearable to make this. So unbearable, I didn't even touch the back. I knew it was going to be covered by a cape. I did the back of Batman just because it felt like it, but this was just painful. I wanted nothing to do with that metallic blue. And I probably don't want to again after the showcase. I really don't. What I am probably the most proud of on this figure has to be the Superman symbol. It's my first time ever doing the Superman symbol, and it turned out wonderful. Oh my gosh, I am so proud of how that looks. That I can't even begin to explain to you how impressed I am with how that turned out. Anyway, enough of me gloating. Obviously the hair is just the regular hairpiece. I think I sanded down the sides a little bit. And then that is the Bruce Banner head. I randomly just found it when I was looking through a couple things, and it reminded me a little of Henry Cavill, so I slapped it on there, and I think it looks a lot better than the traditional Superman head. And then we have a bit of a flowing cape, which is also painted metallic red to match. It wasn't going to, and then it just looked weird, so I was like, okay, let's make it fit in metallic red. Let's just go ahead and do that now. And yeah, that's pretty much it for Superman. Alright, and here is Wonder Woman. Now there's actually a lot of different things done on her. For example, her shield, I actually went in and I scratched in the actual symbol to the shield. I don't know if you can see that properly, but maybe if I can move it. Yeah, there you go. I actually engraved the symbol instead of it just being a print. And then I went in and I scuffed it up a little bit because obviously she's been in battles, makes sense. Then I also painted her little sword. And then the arms are just her regular arms. I didn't do too much to that. But then these legs, I painted the metallic red. And then I did her little, like, skirt thing. I don't even know what I'd call that. But I made that. That was interesting. Never done one of those before. And then I sculpted her torso. That has to be one of the most detailed sculpts I've ever done. And I am honestly extremely proud of it. This is just the Wonder Woman head. And then this is actually the Wonder Woman hair. Believe it or not. But what I've done is I've cut off the sides, sanded it down, and filled it in with some green stuff. Because her hair's way too big. It flows backward, ladies and gentlemen. It does not go down half of her arm. Alright, and here's the Flash. And before I even start, I don't even want to hear it. Yes, I know the silver things aren't on there. I get it. I don't care. I didn't paint them for a good reason, because if it's painted, it won't look good, because I don't have a small enough brush to do that. So I was considering sculpting it and then painting it, but I can't get it consistent enough to go over anything, so I was kind of stuck. I didn't know what to do, so I just skipped it. I think it's fine. I mean, he looks good enough without it. This is probably my favorite part of the whole figure, the arms. They are extremely accurate. I really went into good detail with those. And then I re-sculpted the back, actually. I did that a lot more recently. The old back was terrible, and I'm glad that you will never get to see it, because it is now covered by the new one. This is the regular Flash helmet, of which I painted a metallic red, and then a gold for the fins. And then I sculpted the torso, I sculpted the Flash symbol. That was not the most fun I've ever had, but hey, it looks good, so whatever, right? Again, not too much to say on the Flash. I mean, it was decently simple. When it comes to sculpting work, I do really like how he came out, and I'm glad that I get to see him yet again in Justice League. I hope we get some more scenes of the Flash. I mean, a lot of people didn't like Ezra's performance. I did. I think that it was, it blended in, but was also a little bit of comic relief at certain times. So I appreciated it quite a bit, seeing as this version of DC can be a bit more darker, so having just a tad of comic relief isn't a bad thing for me. Kind of breaks up the movie and lets it all flow very nicely. Alright, this is Cyborg. Now, I wanted to do a lot more with Cyborg than I actually ended up doing. I wanted to do so much more. But hey, life's gonna give you lemons, and that's just how it's gonna be. So, I sculpted pretty much the entire figure. Never said that before. But you can probably see that this sculpting back here is a bit newer, and that's because my original plan was to actually put a light inside of his chest. But I ran out of time when I was looking for a light small enough to fit inside of a minifigure torso, and I couldn't find one in time. So I just sculpted it up and painted it and called it a day, because it's getting uncomfortable. I mean, at the time it was uncomfortably close to the Snyder Cut coming out, and I needed to film this showcase ASAP. Especially since after I had finished up this one, I still had 2 more figures to work on. So yeah, you can also see that I utilized some wire right here, and this right here, that little crack, that's where the red light was going to come out. But oh well, doesn't matter now. This was part of like a little drill piece, and I stuck it in there because if you've seen what his arm cannon looks like, it doesn't actually have that kind of shape, so that's where I got that from. And overall, Cyborg is somewhat simple. I just used the same technique over and over and over again in multiple different places, and I think it came out really well. And here is Aquaman. This was actually the last one that I did, and I'm very proud of the outcome. So you can see that there is actually some metallic green on a dark green base, along with some gold, which I believe is accurate, I'm pretty sure. At first I wanted to sculpt the living crap out of this one, like I did Cyborg, but I decided against it just because his suit seems a lot more snug, kind of like chainmail, instead of, you know, huge bulky armor. Like, it seems a bit more of like a snug suit, so I decided to just sculpt these pads down here and then the Aquaman symbol. I also sculpted on the trident to make it accurate, which is definitely one thing that looks great with this figure. The head and hair is just the regular Aquaman's. I could care less, honestly. But I do really like how this figure came out. It was definitely some fun. And there isn't a lot of reference photos of the back either, so I got to play around with that just a little bit. And yeah, I mean, this figure has to be one of the ones that I put the least amount of effort into, because it didn't really require that much. I mean, this one and the next figure were fairly easy. Okay, don't say anything. Movie hasn't come out yet. There are only 2 outfits. Couldn't really tell with either of them, so I went with this, because it seems like the most self-explanatory one. This is him in his prison outfit, or what I believe to be an Arkham Asylum robe. So, I went in and I mixed a light gray, an extremely light gray mixture, and I wrapped it around the entire figure and glued it right there, which technically, if I took the arms off, I could literally just slide this entire thing off. Yeah, I didn't even expect to do that. And then I gave him these sleeves that match, and then there's the Arkham logo on the back, and then this face along with the hair was painted by me. This is an olive, kind of like an olive green. And then his face was quite interesting. I painted over a regular head with white first, and then I painted his eyebrows as I was painting his hair, and then I realized, oh crap, he doesn't have eyebrows, so then I had to paint over that, and then I used some gray to just define where that is. And then I went in with some red, making sure to keep the mouth open and not covered. And I went in and just kind of dirtied up his face around his mouth. And I think that turned out pretty well. I think it represents him fairly decently. Again, not too much to talk about with this character. It's extremely easy. So here we have Darkseid. This has to be one of the most interesting figures I have ever done, because most of this isn't actually sculpted by me. The base for this is a Mega Bloks figure, and it had a lot of armor that came with it, so I just reused most of that and painted it up myself. And then I did paint the Omega symbol on his chest, and then the head armor wrapping around his entire head. But that was really all I sculpted myself. Everything else was obviously painted by me in a nice gunmetal, and then some accents in silver. And then I painted his eyes orange to match the fiery eyes that we see in the trailer. And then I also painted the angry expression. And then I just put cracks all over his skin, because I don't know why his skin's like that, but it is extremely cracked. And it looks a little interesting. It's actually kind of what's also interesting to note about this figure is that I technically repurposed it. I had originally made a comic book accurate Darkseid just because I like Darkseid. His design's great, and he's a pretty great villain. So I had already made Darkseid. He was blue originally, and then this came up and I was like, dang, all of that work, and now I have to repaint it. So I was like, oh well. So I painted over the eyes, which were originally red, and then I painted over the blue with all the gunmetal, and here we are. Look at that. Thank you all so much for watching this video, and I hope that it hypes you up just as much as I am hyped to see the Snyder Cut of the Justice League. Already, before I even discovered a few things that I know now, I was already ecstatic to see this, because not only were we getting a better representation of Justice League, but we were also getting Darkseid, which blew my mind. And then there have also been some rumors and some confirmed things that I found out myself. One thing is, apparently, there were rumors that Green Lantern might be in it. I don't know. If they do have a Green Lantern, that it'll probably either be the Jessica Cruz Green Lantern or the John Stewart Green Lantern, which neither of those are Hal Jordan, which is the original Green Lantern. Just because, 2010 explains enough. But then I was also wandering around, and I looked at the cast of the Snyder Cut, and I found two characters that I did not expect to see there. Martian Manhunter and the Atom apparently were in there, which is extremely crazy. I did not expect to see that at all. So when I did, I jumped for joy, because honestly, I really like Martian Manhunter. He's really cool. The Atom I could do without, though. I really don't care about the Atom whatsoever. He's just a scientist that has the same powers as Ant-Man, so. But Martian Manhunter is extremely overpowered. Maybe he has a part to play if Superman goes off the hook like he did in the original film. Maybe Martian Manhunter will jump in and help out there, because Martian Manhunter is extremely strong. If you don't know about Martian Manhunter, he is actually from Mars. He can phase through objects, he can go invisible, he can transform his body to different shapes. Basically, he could become your postman if he really wanted to. He can shoot lasers. His powers are insane. Completely insane. So I'm very excited to actually see that in the movie. I hope that we get a lot of Martian Manhunter, just because he wasn't there before.
So,
yeah, I hope everybody else is just as excited to see the movie as I am, and I will see you in the next video.